You might recall last week when John Jordan was here, who is the producer for the Jesuit Rec Room, that I said we should have Father Ryan Duns on because he's featured in one of these great episodes. And lo and behold, here he is, Ryan Duns, Father Ryan Duns of the Society of Jesus, recently ordained for the Chicago-Detroit province. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, it's great to have you, especially since we're going to get now kind of the first-hand report on. We talked to the producer, but we don't know a first-hand report of what went into this Jesuit Rec Room. So first of all, you're the Chicago-Detroit province, and that's just been a recently merged province.
Indeed. Within the last 6 years, we've come together to do basically everything together under one provincial, and we're preparing to merge with the Wisconsin province as well.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. A lot of culture integration, building bridges between cultures, of the way provinces do things between one another.
Very good. Now, speaking of building bridges, you're featured in the second episode of Loyola Productions' The Jesuit Rec Room, which is being shown on Catholic TV these days. What was it like? Tell us about your experience, if you don't mind.
It was really exciting. I was invited early on into the project to be a participant in the second episode, and I found it exciting to sit with Carolyn Meese and with Sister Nancy Sylvester and to talk about things that are near and dear to our hearts, a life of prayer and contemplation, but to do so in a way that might go beyond normal discourse about prayer. These are three very different experiences of prayer, of coming to know the Lord, and it was exciting to do that.
Very good. Well, your role in the episode kind of serves as a bridge builder, and I think that's particularly appropriate these days because, well, we have a Jesuit Pope. Indeed. And he is the supreme pontiff, the great bridge builder. Can you share some of that encounter?
What I found exciting is that each one of us approached a life of prayer and contemplation in a way that was trying to tap into what is deepest and most intimate in our hearts. And mine, as a Jesuit, is through the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius, coming to know Jesus and to follow him. And the same is true with Sister Nancy, who, through a more contemplative spirituality is coming to discern the Spirit's movement in the church. And Caroline, who to many eyes would appear outside of the church or at a frontier or a borderland, to listen to her coming to understand where God was moving in her life and listen to her speak about that from her heart was very powerful and in helping us to recognize that God's Spirit is not limited to one style of prayer or one particular location, that God can be encountered even in very unlikely places. And so for Caroline, who's so much associated with the New Age movement, that we don't have to have an allergy to her way of praying and thinking through the spiritual life, because you can't help but to feel God's presence within her and the liveliness of the Spirit. So that's a great bridge-building activity, both for viewers to watch, but also for people who engage with her and say, wow, the Spirit is giving her credibility and power.
Your participation in this project, Ryan, I'm sure has been illuminated, if you will, not only by your Jesuit experience, but also your doctoral work at Boston College. You have a master's in divinity from BC, and now you're working on your doctorate. Your study of theology, I'm sure, is wrapped up in all of this.
It is. I'm grateful to study theology at Boston College, and I have fantastic mentors who really encourage prayer as an avenue of a way of mining the spiritual life and tradition as a credible resource for doing theology. And that cannot but inflect the way I think about prayer and the way I do pray.
What do you think people take from a robust prayer life? What does it do to a person intellectually, spiritually, physically?
I think at the end of the day, prayer is a waste of time. And you have to learn how to waste time well. And prayer is wasting time with the one you love. We live in a society that is filled with time-wasting activities. And we check our phones, we play on devices and the internet, we distract ourselves. The Apple Watch, you have a ready-made distraction. But a life of prayer teaches us to waste time on the one who is most truly important to us. And because we dedicate time and have a practice of spending time with our beloved, our time is charged with grace. We come to see where God is present because we've taken time away to do what is most important.
Well, Father Ryan Duns of the Society of Jesus, first of all, let me say before we end the interview, congratulations once again.
Thank you very much. It's a great
your
honor
ordination
to serve the church.
and also your continued academic success. And also, I know that people can learn more about the Jesuit Rec Room, not just here on Catholic TV by watching it, but also going to the website for Loyola Productions, which is
www.loyolaproductions.com.
good. And we hope people do check that out, and we look forward to seeing you, not in the living room, but in episode 2 of the Jesuit Rec Room. Father Ryan Duns, thank you so
Father Reed,
much.
thank you so much
Great
for
to be
having
with
me.
you.
Great
And we're going to go back to more now of This Is the Day.